Hey everybody, thanks for tuning in on a Wednesday morning. And this is the new year. The new year is upon us. The big football drops in Times Square, and the new league year kicks off at 1 p.m. Pacific time. That's when the Deebo Samuel trade will be finalized. That's where there will be some other potential announcements of signings can officially happen. Malik Collins, I think, at 1 p.m. That's when the news will drop about his release. The 49ers have tried to trade him. I don't think that that's going to happen. So, a lot of these moves, some of them have already been announced. Kyle Juszczyk being released, Leonard Floyd being released, and the 49ers do have some agreements in place. I know so much of the conversation has been about who is not coming back. And frankly, the guys that the 49ers have added, certainly not household names. The biggest name would be Demarcus Robinson, the wide receiver who spent the past two seasons with the LA Rams. Little bit on him. He's exactly what I thought the 49ers would be getting. A guy who's veteran, who can step in and play, who's not going to be a huge producer, but somebody, let's just say, in that 30 to whatever, 35 catches on the season, 400 to what, or 350 to 500 yards, something along that. And that's exactly what he produced for the Rams. However, it does come with a bit of uncertainty because 2 weeks ago at the NFL Scouting Combine, Les Snead, the general manager of the Rams, was asked about Demarcus Robinson and how much or how the Rams would approach his impending free agency. And so what Les Snead said, and this is a quote, we're still working through all those situations. He does have some things that he has to work through legally in the offseason that could prevent him from some playing time in the future. That's the reality. That's what you have to work through. We appreciate what he's done. So I have reached out to the league office to find out exactly where Demarcus Robinson stands from the standpoint of the NFL's personal conduct policy. And Robinson is subject to a suspension due to an incident that happened in late November. The Rams played a Sunday night game against the Philadelphia Eagles. And then hours after that, he was pulled over on 101 for going reported, according to the CHP, driving over 100 miles per hour. And he identified himself as the driver. And according to the report, he showed objective signs and symptoms of alcohol impairment. In other words, a DUI. So just looking at the precedent that's been set by the NFL, there is the potential that Demarcus Robinson could face, probably a one to 3 game suspension. And the 49ers signed him for the early season when there's very much a question about Brandon Ayuk's availability, but clearly the 49ers know that this is a possibility. And the league is usually pretty tight-lipped on this until a decision has been made. So I don't know that the 49ers would have any inside information on what exactly the league is thinking with Demarcus Robinson. Okay, there's a couple of defensive backs that are, I think, kind of notable. One, he announced, or his agency announced on Wednesday morning, Trey Brown, formerly of the Seattle Seahawks, or at least we assume formerly of the Seattle Seahawks. He is a cornerback. He played 290 snaps last year. He was targeted 20 times, allowed 14 catches for 215 yards and 3 touchdowns. That's according to PFF. So take that for what it's worth. That's a passer rating against of 144.8. So Trey Brown, pretty clearly coming in as somebody who will compete for playing time, potentially when the 49ers go to their nickel defense, competing for a spot on the team, competing for a backup role. So Trey Brown from Seattle will be coming to the 49ers, and also Jason Pinnock, formerly of the New York Giants. He played a lot of snaps last season, at 976 to be exact, with the New York Giants. He played a little bit in the slot. 53 snaps in the slot. Didn't give up a whole lot of yards, 10 targets, 56 yards while covering the slot receiver. So he's potentially somebody who could earn a starting role as a slot receiver. He is potentially somebody who could compete for a starting job with probably Jair Brown. Malik Mustafa appeared to really kind of lock down in the 49ers way of thinking the one of the starting jobs as Malik Mustafa and Talanoa Hufanga kind of settled into those roles late in the season. So anywhere, Jason Pinnock comes in. He could compete with Mustafa and Jair Brown, could also compete for a starting role at the slot receiver. So Pinnock's play, his production at the slot, not bad at all. But then when you kind of expand that view and look at how PFF rated him as far as safeties, and it's kind of tough because a lot of times safeties aren't matched up one on one, but you take into consideration who the nearest defender is, I guess, when a catch was made. And in those instances, not good. 22 receptions, again, according to PFF, 22 receptions on 27 targets, 271 yards, 4 touchdowns. That's a passer rating against a 148.1. So, yes, not good at all. So that's what the 49ers are looking at. And we talked a lot leading into this where John Lynch sent the signal out, reset, recalibrate. That's clearly what the 49ers are doing, trying to create money for the future when Brock Purdy and others get paid. Mostly Purdy getting paid, the others just seeing their escalating salaries through the years. Speaking of Brock Purdy, he did get paid on Wednesday. No, not that kind of paid, not in the form of a lucrative long-term contract from the 49ers, but the NFL announced their top 25 of performance-based pay. And it's basically what the guy's salary is in relation to how many plays, how many snaps he was on the field. And so the NFL awarded a lot of money, 452 million around the league for performance-based pay. Brock Purdy ranked 16th on that list for the 2024 season. He made an additional, you ready for this? 857 no, 800,000 $857,842. So a nice chunk of change on top of his $985,000 salary from last year. So Brock Purdy gets some money. By the way, he's scheduled to make, just because of the formula and the raise in pay for his fourth year, he's scheduled to make 5.35 million for this coming season. That's a significant raise over what he has been making, 5 times raise, but clearly he is set for a big money deal that will blow that out of the water if the sides can get together and reach an agreement. Okay, so Purdy ranked 16th on the list as far as around the NFL for performance-based pay. The number 11 guy, also, he's a 49er, Dominic Puni, third-round draft pick. He started all 17 games. He rarely came off the field. I don't know. In fact, I don't know if he did come off the field. I should know that. But anyway, he had a salary, rookie minimum, of $795,000. Through performance-based pay, he made more than that, $898. $898,000. How's that? That's much better. So Dominic Puni cashes in. He was named to the all-rookie team from the Pro Football Writers of America and nearly makes double, his salary is doubled based on the performance-based pay. So all in all, he made close to $1.6 million as a rookie. So a nice rookie payday for Dominic Puni. All right. Again, free agency starts, or the new league year starts in a few hours. And just to kind of reset the 49ers, right now, and these numbers always fluctuate, but right now they're about 40 million under the cap. So they have a lot of space to do stuff if they want to do it. But we also have seen that they're going to be very judicious. It doesn't look like they want to pay out money to guys who have a history of injuries. Uh, Telling who? Fonga, they didn't extend to re-sign him. Dre Greenlaw, they didn't extend to re-sign him. They didn't extend to sign Joey Bosa as a free agent. I was on the Rich Eisen show this morning and he asked me about Cooper Kupp. And I said, kind of the same thing with Cooper Kupp is that, with his history of injuries, I don't think the 49ers are going to like overpay. Well, overpay is kind of a very subjective term. It's very, it's in the eye of the beholder, but I don't think they're going to compete hard for a guy like Cooper Kupp and pay him above what other teams would just because of the same thought process of being bit by injuries so often. I don't think that Cooper Kupp is somebody, unless he's a bargain and falls in their lap, I don't think he's somebody that they're going to like just go out and pay a ton of money for. So, of the 49ers salaries right now, looking ahead, $77 million in dead money. That is a direct result of the team trying to clear money off their books, not for this season, because it's 77 million that count against this year's cap, but 77 million that won't count against the cap in the future. So that's kind of that reset that John Lynch was talking about, the reset, the recalibrate. And he did set up everybody. He did give a good primer. He did prepare everybody for the 49ers approach here in free agency. And that's where we are. So again, thanks for watching this video. Subscribe if you haven't already. Leave a like and a comment. And that is it for now.